This is an example of how to use a CPI to find inflation and what's going on here? And to find out how much things cost, whether you're going forward in time or backward in time, using this inflation rate. So let's say in 2015, I know it's in the future, let's make an imaginary CPI of 240.6. And in 2020, another imaginary CPI of 311.8. Now remember, these CPIs are based on basic goods that people buy year in and year out and how they've inflated over a period of time. So what used to cost $240 would in the future cost about $312. All right, so to find the inflation rate, we're going to use an older formula, which is new minus old over old, the percent change formula. It works perfectly fine in this situation. Multiply by 100 and change it to a percent. All right, so our inflation is going to be the new value, which is the 311.8, minus the old value, which is the 240.6, and then we're going to divide by 240.6. And then take that answer, multiply by 100, and attach a percent sign. So remember, when you're doing this, best to do the top calculation first, get an answer, and then turn around and divide by the bottom number. So let's see here. Subtract the two top ones, you get 71.2, and then divide by 240.6. And the answer comes out as 0.29, but don't forget you have to multiply by 100. So I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, so this would be 29.6, and tack on the percent. So this is the inflation over those 5 years. Prices have gone up by a factor of 29.6%. All right, so that'll answer the inflation question. The second question is, if a TV costs $1,200 in 2015, how much would we expect it to cost in 2020 after we adjusted for inflation? Now, one of the better formulas to use here is the grandma formula, the n equals g, 1 plus or minus x over 100, where x is written as the whole number percent. If you change your percents into decimals, just get rid of that 100 part. All right, this is an old formula that we did at the beginning of the semester. So in this case, we're going to be taking 2015, which is the old price, and we're going to try to generate a new price in 2020. So this would become new. The grandma was $1,200, and it's going to be 1. Plus or minus means plus is always a percent increase, no matter if you're going backwards in time or forward in time. As long as it was a percent increase, it stays positive. If it's a percent decrease, your prices are going down as time goes on, but it stays negative even if you're going backwards or forward in time. So be careful of this. These do not change because you're going backwards or forward in time. It only changes for positive 4% increase and negative 4% decrease. This percentage here, because our prices are going up, is a percent increase. So I'm going to write in here plus 29.6 and divide by 100. I could have just turned around and wrote 0.296, but I'll do it this way. So you do this in your calculator. 1200, 1 plus, oops, get that out of my way. 29.6 divided by 100, and we would expect, based on inflation, that a TV would cost this much. Now, if we turn around in 2020 and TVs cost $2,000, then we can say that the TVs cost higher than what inflation should have done to it. If it cost less than this, then TVs were cheaper than what inflation should have done to it. All right, so the last one is going the other direction. Let's do it in purple. Again, we're going to do this formula. And in this case, we have a cell phone that costs $950 in the future. We want to know how much it would have cost adjusted for inflation in the past. So in this case, this is the new price, the $950. So he's going to go on this side of the equation. Grandma, or the old price, is what we're looking for. And we're going to have 1, again, inflation is positive, so this would be the 29.6 divided by 100. So to solve for this, we're actually going to divide this number across. So let's figure out what that number is first. So this would be G times 1 plus 29.6 divided by 100, or 1.296. 1.296. And then to solve this, we would just take both sides and divide by the number next to the letter. Never divide by the number away from the letter, 296. And we finally get down to G is equal to, the price in the past should have been 50. About $733.02, so really, really close to $703. So we would say if a TV cost $950 today, back then, 5 years ago, it should have cost $733 based on inflation. But again, it could have been higher or lower, and you can do comparative prices over time using this method. And that's why they always say things in the news when they try to compare like gas prices and stuff from the past, that they always adjust them for inflation. That means they put the money in terms of something you can understand. All right, so that's CPI and how it's used.